welcome to a studio vlog. I never do these anymore. Today I'm taking you guys along for a day in my work life as a freelance artist, entrepreneur, recent college graduate, 22-year-old lady. What the heck do I do with my day? I really enjoy watching these types of videos. I'm the nosiest person you'll ever meet. Also, I have this sneaking suspicion that as a 78-year-old lady, I'm gonna want to rewatch these 50 years from now and go, oh, the toils of being a young, independent woman with no responsibilities. When you work by yourself all day, I think it's really important to have stuff to watch / listen to that gets you in the groove. For me, there's two things I like to watch / listen to. One is vlogs of other people working, and two is podcasts about entrepreneurship. My favorite in particular is called How I Built This. I've mentioned it in a previous vlog before, and it's the best entrepreneurship podcast I have encountered. It's basically interviews with CEOs of big companies. I'll even re-listen to episodes sometimes that I've already heard just because I really like them.
So remember when it seemed like almost everything came in a subscription box? And I'm not just talking about Stitch Fix or Dollar Shave Club.
Look, it's a slightly cleaner version of my living room. Wow, don't pay attention to this. Wow, so clean. Don't pay attention to this either. Oh! We're good. So I actually have a very serious question to ask you guys. It's something I've been struggling with for a very long time. I'm one of those people that cannot sleep without white noise, but I haven't been able to find a good fan. So a week and a half ago, I bought this fan. The brand is called Honeywell. It's the Quiet Set 5. Well, this one sucks because it makes that really high-pitched whirring noise. And the reason I had to buy that one was because before that I had a box fan that incessantly rattled. I don't know why the blade made this rattling sound when it spun. Then we were at Lowe's and I bought this fan, which is another box fan. I know, kind of counterintuitive. This is by the brand Polonus, and we listened to it at the store. It sounded like it had a nice low-pitched whirring sound, which is exactly what I like. I just wanted to drown out, all the other bad things that you hear outside of your apartment happening at night, like theft and robbery and trains. The only problem with this is the quietest setting on this is equivalent to an airplane taking off next to a helicopter. This is just a long roundabout way of saying, please leave your suggestions for good white noise fans in the comments. Okay, I'm back and I'm showered. Look, it's true, my hair is wet. Welcome to my office, aka my bedroom. I scooted my desk back a little bit from the window so I could get this shot, but I normally don't work here. It's time to do some administrative tasks, so I wanted to walk you guys through something that is super crucial to me running my business that I don't think a lot of people really talk about, which is really unfortunate. After graduating from college, I started working for myself full-time as an artist, and people don't just automatically show up at your door with work to do all the time. I feel like so many people make it look so easy, and if you're a good artist, then people are just gonna come to you with great job opportunities, and all you have to do is say yes. For me, the biggest hurdle that I had to get over was the mental hurdle of realizing that just because I'm not having work coming directly to me without me having to ask for it, doesn't mean I'm not good at what I do, and it doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of working for big companies. Outreach is very intimidating at first because you're basically going in cold and asking for jobs for people who don't know who you are. It involves a lot of rejection, but I think realizing that this is a huge part of the process, a lot of people have to do this. Yes, there are some people who are very lucky that they've grown an audience that allows them to bring in work without them having to go out and seek it, which is super cool. Happy for those people. But the truth is, a lot of times, if you're willing to just share in conversation with someone what you do and kind of hype yourself up a little bit. They could end up being a client, they could end up knowing someone. If you are afraid to talk about it, then no one is going to be excited to hire you. One of the things I've been trying to do for probably about an hour every day is email outreach. This is basically where I'm just sending cold emails to potential clients that I would like to work with. Right now, my business is really focusing on large-scale wall mural projects, so a lot of times you don't get any response, or sometimes it will take multiple follow-up emails before you get a response, and a lot of times the response is a respectful no, which is okay. A lot of it ends up being really experimental, like sometimes I'm trying to reach out to the manager, sometimes the office manager. I usually try to hit a couple of different people at each company or each location, because sometimes people won't respond, they won't see your email, or sometimes you're just not reaching the right person. Outreach really is a numbers game. You just have to be willing to send a ton of emails and follow up multiple times. I can show you what my standard outreach email looks like. Basically, this is what I write in my initial outreach email. I just introduce myself, describe the work that I do, talk a little bit about how it can benefit the client, and then just end with a really nice call to action. Usually I just ask if they would be willing to put me in touch with the right person at their company, because I don't exactly know the right person I need to be reaching out to. Generally, the first thing people want to know is what your prices are, so you definitely want to have that nailed down. Before you even start reaching out to people, you want to be able to give them a quote within a day or so, once you know the scope of the project. It's going to be different for all different types of design work, so like if you are a graphic designer, maybe you charge per hour or per design. And if you're not really sure what to charge, just talk to people in your industry, talk to other people who do what you do and see what they charge. Just because you don't have a huge portfolio of work doesn't mean your services aren't worthy of being paid what other artists are charging.
Been waiting for this moment, but she's not sure. Seems like the thing that all the cool kids do. But something happens inside before you say I do. I could have swore you loved me more. The fights we fought, we've swept the floor. I couldn't say that you would speak. Can we make up before you leave? I can't believe the sound that the door made.
So right now I'm headed to Kohl's to do an Amazon drop-off for the fan, and also probably to Target because I need a new journal.
Nobody can hear what she said. I can't believe the sound that the door made as she left. It's really quite okay because
It was funny because I saw this tea place when I was leaving Kohl's, and I walk in and I was like, oh, when did you guys open? He's like, oh, this is our first day. If you're curious about the best fruity tea combination, one of my personal favorites is mango fruit tea with strawberry popping.
oh, you couldn't see it from the outside looking in. Put on a face to make the place seem a little less blue. It makes you hate the person you've turned into.
So right now I am actually sitting right outside of Lake Laverne, which is the little lake on the Iowa State campus where they have a nice walking path where you can walk around, and there are also 2 swans that live here. This is one of my favorite places on campus, and when I used to live on campus, I would come here a lot to think, ponder, draw. Sometimes I come here and I park and I just journal and become introspective. Spring and summertime is the best time here. Everything's blooming and beautiful. There are also a lot of ants. I think ever since I graduated college, being able to still live here in the town where I've lived for the past 4 years, just being able to drive around and see all of the apartments I've lived in, the dorm I lived in my freshman year, it's very nostalgic for me in a good way. This will probably be the last year that I live here, possibly forever, so it's one of the first places that I've gotten to know so well that I can find my way around almost any neighborhood, literally drive around in almost any part of town, and I have a memory there. You never know when the last time you're going to see a place is, and you never know when the last time you're going to get to sit in your favorite spot is. So something else on my list to do today was to start the process of trying to hire an intern, maybe 2, as my business grows and the tasks I'm doing day to day are changing. I can get a lot more done if I had 1 or 2 people helping me. Because I live in a college town, I wanted to look into what it would entail if I hired maybe 1 or 2 students to help me with marketing and sales and social media. So I got in touch with someone who works for the university. She basically gave me instructions that I need to set up an account and post the internship online. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. I've never done this before, so I honestly have no idea what the requirements are. I think I've definitely been initially resistant to delegating any sort of business tasks because I really like to have my hand on everything. I think one of the things I've also struggled with being a young female individual that is an entrepreneur is finding that line between being a freelancer and being a business owner. I think I really was limiting myself mentally, thinking that just because I'm an artist, that means I have to be a freelancer and that I can't be a real business person. I feel a little bit like a poser because I know that a lot of the organizations posting jobs on here are like huge companies that have 50, 100 employees. I know that I can provide valuable job experience, but there's always a bit of a mental barrier for me trying to remember that if I want to be the legitimate business person that I imagine, then I have to put myself there mentally. Sometimes the language that you use when you talk about what you do is actually really, really important in order to have people take you seriously.
To be seen in the night to test your doubt. Everybody knows even the little things can go to your head and freak you out. But ghosts will be ghosting, it's the kids that scare the most. And I don't blame them, they just wanna have some fun. Your brave, fly for your life. Nowhere to run, nowhere to go. You suck it up and watch it grow. Every now and then I think back to when we were young. Was it worth the sweet? 'Cause every Halloween they come out to be seen in the night while we trick or